Hey everyone, Rob here from Gunfather Milsim, and today we're going to talk about how to clear hallways. Why? Because they're a trouble area and a big danger area. Now, we're going to start by talking about offset hallways where the doors are offset from each other. This is more common, especially in residential. And we're going to first talk about the Wingman Principle to help explain things. Wingman Principle is a simple two-man element. Here's your lead guy, here's your wingman. Lead guy is more concerned with clearing rooms. Wingman is concerned with holding long cover and also just protecting all the exposures of the lead guy. So as we move down this hallway and we get closer, this guy's going to start orienting towards this room and start pieing that room. It's important that the wingman be behind the lead guy here and not up here on line with him. If he's on line with him and he's focusing downrange and this guy's clearing this bad guy will see that wingman before he sees this lead guy. That's a problem because his flank's exposed, he's going to take fire. So this guy has to be behind, or the wingman has to be behind your lead guy. And as we go down here, he's just going to hold on long, and he's going to trust this guy to do his job and clear that room and engage people if he's got to engage. Now let's say we get to the room and we hop in. This guy's got two options. Either A, he can go in and help this guy clear the room, maybe get online with him to get more fire, two guns on a target, or if it's a small room or whatever, he can just suck in right here and hold long until this guy gets done clearing the room and they come back out. When they come back out, they might switch roles. Now, if we got to switch sides of the hall, your lead guy is going to call out switching because he's going to cross this guy's muzzle. This guy goes muzzle down or up, he's going to cross over, he's still holding long. Also watching that exposure. And then we just do the same thing over here. Like that. That's Wingman Principle. One thing of note is that if you're doing the Wingman Principle here, theoretically this is the wingman, he's got long cover, and this is the guy clearing the room. If you have a guy sitting in this deep corner here, in this deep exposure here, the first one to pick him up is going to be your lead guy, and he's going to call that out, shot. Now all of a sudden this is going to take priority over this. Okay, that's Wingman Principle. Now we're going to change our scale a little bit and talk about hallways with opposing doors. This is very common in commercial structures, stuff like, hotels, schools, anything commercial. Also, this is commonly, you're going to see this a lot in Airsoft because big Airsoft events often take place in old schools and old hotels and stuff. So you're going to see a lot more of this. Residential, this is very uncommon. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is an unknown threat, which basically we're not taking fire from down the hall and we really don't know where the bad guy is, and we're going to clear it slow. If we have two people, basically what they're going to do is they don't have a wingman, you're all by yourself, and these guys are going to provide mutual security for each other. As they go down the hall, this guy's attention is going to be on this room because he sees it first, and this guy's attention is going to be on this room. At a certain point, they're going to switch attention when they get about 2 feet from the door-ish, and then they're going to be focusing on the room they're clearing. So they're going to start here, and they're going to switch. And they're going to go, and they're just going to clear their room and come back out. And then they're going to do the same thing all the way down the hall. Okay, starting on clearing the opposite room, because that's what they see first, and then switching to the room on their wall side. This is not difficult for people who train a lot together. Airsoft context, people who don't train together, this is probably a lot to ask and probably not very reasonable. A better approach may be to simply use the Wingman Principle that we used in the last example and just clear down here and have this guy keep an eye on this room while this guy clears it, and then they cross over and clear this one. That's probably a more reasonable approach from an Airsoft perspective. Moving on, let's talk about known threat, okay? In that the hallway is no longer a safe place because you have bad guys sitting down at the end of the hall and basically they're throwing fire downrange. This is very common in Airsoft. You'll see one team will hold down this whole hallway from the entrance of the hall and the other team is trying to clear it. The wrong thing to do is to put two people here and just get in a 50-50 gunfight through the hall. That's not really a winning situation. And you'll see this common in ops. There'll be just basically a line of guys just waiting for their turn to come up to this point and just get in that 50-50 gunfight. And this never changes hands. There's no movement anywhere. It's a losing scenario. So we're going to talk about a couple of potential solutions to this problem here. So the first thing you can do is put 4 guys on the door in kind of a high-low configuration. This is good because it gets more volume of fire downrange. You got 4 shooters instead of 2. The problem is these 2 are still essentially fighting from the same angle. So you don't really gain anything other than the volume of fire. The better option is to try to put people in these rooms so you can gain more angles on those targets downrange. The way we're going to do this is this guy's going to provide suppressive fire. This guy's going to drop in and he's going to provide his own suppressive fire until he gets into this room. Now he's going to do a dynamic entry on this room, which traditionally I'm a fan of threshold assaults, limited penetration, all that kind of CQB. I'm not a fan of dynamic entry outside of hostage rescue. But in this instance, it's justified because this hallway is a known unsafe. You're taking rounds downrange. This room is an unknown. Safe, unsafe, we don't know. So we got to drop in here quickly because that's might be safe, probably safe. If there's a guy in here waiting and watching that door with his finger on the trigger, this guy's screwed. Nothing you can do about it. Understand that this solution, you're going to take some casualties. Okay, it's not ideal, but it's airsoft. Although it would work in the real world. We're talking about airsoft right now, so you just make your walk to the respawn. So let's say it works out. We get this guy in here and he sets up in this position, attacking from this deep angle. Now we have more angles. This guy steps up. He starts doing his suppressive fire as well. So now we have 3 angles instead of the 2 we started with. Now it's this guy's turn. He's going to move up, providing his own suppressive fire as he goes. And he's going to drop in this room. Same thing. Clear it real quick. Come back out. Now he's set up. Now we have 4 angles. Now from here, it can get tricky. You're probably going to have one of these guys leapfrog up. He's going to peek out and say, hey, I'm moving up, suppress. And these 2 are going to suppress as he moves up to this next position. That's easier to do than try to have somebody from the back go past this guy's line of fire and try to communicate over there, hey, I'm coming past, watch your lane as he comes by. That can be kind of tricky to do real world or airsoft. So you're usually better off pushing these lead guys up. And then as they move up, this guy moves up and this guy moves here. But the point is, you're going to pick up angles as you go until you finally have all these multiple angles and we can clear these rooms and bite them off one by one. What if somebody goes in here, let's say they go in this room, they find out there is a bad guy, this guy gets whacked, okay? See him walk out, dead rag up, whatever. Pretty good indicator. There's obviously a bad guy in there of some sort. I would get this room and I would attack this room from this room, preferably with a frag. Maybe you want to put a second guy here just to get more angles on that room and deal with it. That is my solution to that problem. So you see, using this method, we gain more angles than this team does here. Don't be content just to get hits. Don't be content just to get kills and sit in that 50-50 gunfight where we got a whole stack of guys lining up here and a whole stack of guys lining up here waiting for their turn to get in this 50-50 gun battle. We have to take terrain. We have to take real estate because it gives us more angles. It gives us more shooting positions. It's a game of angles. Whoever has more angles wins. Yes, you are going to take casualties, but you're going to get something done as opposed to just waiting for your turn to die in the 50-50 gunfight. So that's all I got on hallways. If you like my content, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You guys know how YouTube works. Better yet, if you want to support my content, buy some merch. You can go to my merchandise store. It's at unsavorytees.com. Under Unsavory Army, there's a section there for Gunfather Milsim. I sell t-shirts and slings and patches and all sorts of stuff. Hop on there, buy some merchandise. It helps support my channel and helps support my content. Thanks for watching.